this nation. OSBC brings you the news. News across the country.
Good evening and welcome to the news across the country. Osun Governor opened up on debts left behind by his predecessor. NSCDC warns against storing of petrol at home. Report of the week focuses on Christmas decoration. NAFDAC seizes unregistered food products in Kano. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has assured people of the state that his administration will not be distracted from operationalizing its blueprints for governance regardless of the huge amount of debt bequeathed to it by his immediate predecessor. Governor Adeleke gave this assurance while addressing the Osun State Council of Obas under the chairmanship of the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Nwusi Ojaja II at the Ministry of Finance conference room. Governor's office correspondent Abdurrahim Adekileku now completes the story.
It was the first of its kind for any governor to involve the traditional rulers in the state in the business of governance by opening the books of its financial standing to the royal fathers. No wonder the royal fathers were full of prayers and commendations for the 6th executive governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, for starting his administration on a note of an all-inclusiveness. Governor Adeleke, while addressing the state traditional rulers under the chairmanship of the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ojaja II, lauded the royal fathers for their support, saying that his administration will consult them from time to time. Senator Adeleke said the meeting was called to present the official debt profile of the state in line with the details submitted to him by the Office of the Accountant General for the state. According to him, there were 8 different loan facilities inherited from his predecessor, apart from the salary and pension debts, with repayment period ranging from 16 months to 28 years. The total amount of the budget, according to the governor, stands at 407.32 billion naira.
My administration inherited 8 outstanding loan facilities, apart from salaries and pension funds from the by GDP of Osun State. The total loan stock as of today is 331.22 billion. 876 billion naira debt of salaries and pension are added. The state is indebted to the tune of 407.32 billion naira. The amount owed to total is yet to be determined.
According to the governor, outstanding balance of budget support facilities stands at 51.8 billion naira with a monthly repayment of 154.9 million to be paid for 27 years and 9 months. Outstanding balance of salary bailout is put at 38.8 billion naira with a monthly repayment of 232.77 million to be paid for the next 30 years and 9 months. Unstructured commercial bank loans of 158.77 billion with a monthly repayment of 1.14 billion to be paid for the next 11.5 years, as well as excess crude account with outstanding balance of 14.48 billion, monthly repayment of 89.97 million to be paid back in the next 13 years and 4 months. Others are Central Bank of Nigeria infrastructure loan of 9.2 billion naira with a monthly repayment of 44.98 million, an outstanding period of 17 years. Federal Government of Nigeria intervention loan with outstanding balance of 1.7 billion and monthly repayment of 100 million naira to be completed in the next 17 months. The governor lamented that the 18.4 billion naira Federal Government of Nigeria bridge finance facility, which the last administration took after the July 16, 2022 Guba polls, was completely expended without any information on the repayment terms. In their separate remarks, the Onogun of Ila, Onogun of Okeila, Onunu of Iru, Ali of Ili, Oluwo of Iwo, Oluwo of Iwoki, Onokuku of Okuku, Olowo of Kuta, among several obas, commended the governor for his unprecedented transparency and principle of inclusion. They prayed for the governor to have a successful tenure of office and charged him to continue to extend olive branches to all stakeholders in the state. In his remarks, the chairman of the council, Oni of Ife, Oba Adewale Ogunwusi Ojaya II, assured the governor that the Obas in the state will give their massive support to the administration of Governor Ademola Adeleke for all-round development of the state. On the entourage of the governor were the deputy governor for the state, Prince Kola Adewusi, the secretary to the state government, Alhaji Teslim Igbalaye, as well as the chief of staff to the governor, Alhaji Kasim Akinleye. It has been Abdurrahim Adekleku reporting.
Who have been described as key players in the coming 2023 general election have been admonished not to compromise the electoral process. Osun State Resident Electoral Commissioner Dr. Mutiu Agboke stated this at a sensitization program organized for core members at the NYC Permanent Orientation Camp at the Osun State. Our reporter Oluwatobiloba Odunuga has the details.
Speaking at the sensitization and training program for core members, Osun State Resident Electoral Commissioner Dr. Mutiu Agboke advised core members to be neutral and be apolitical during election process. Dr. Agboke admonished them to abide by the rules and regulations of the Independent National Electoral Commission and be a good ambassador of the NYSC scheme. The REC, however, warned the core members against engaging in electoral malpractices during the 2023 general elections. He stated further that anyone found culpable in any electoral malpractice would be prosecuted accordingly.
INEC is not ready to allow any inadequacy that will be occasioned by any of our ad hoc staff, particularly the presiding officer. The position of presiding officer is a strategic one. He owns the polling unit. He organizes the activities there. So it is good for us to teach them what to do, to let them know what they should not do, and to also let them know the likely things that will happen on election day. We believe that this is just the beginning of the exposure or the engagement. By the time they are posted out, our various local governments will engage them. As I speak to you now, route trainings are ongoing in various local governments. We have guidelines, INEC guidelines. We also have a kit for training. We also have the Electoral Act. All the provisions therein, they must know them.
Dr. Agboke, which said politicians were bound to approach the core members during elections, warned them not to be compromised or let themselves be used for their selfish aims. The REC noted that bimodal accreditation system BVAS will be used by the Commission during the coming 2023 general elections, noting that the BVAS had made it impossible for human interference.
They must know who is eligible to vote. They must know who is not eligible to vote. They must know when you should not be allowed to vote. And they must also know what is the issue of transmission of result is all about.
Dr. Adegoke added that core members that would be engaged for the elections will be properly trained on the usage of beavers and other equipment. Oluwatobiloba Odunuga, OSBC News.
Meanwhile, the leadership of the People's Democratic Party in Osun State has solicited support and votes of the people of Olonda, Irepodu, and Osogbo Federal Constituency in the forthcoming general election, promising that the PDP candidates will be bringing in new innovations into governance. This came to the fore during the flag-off campaign of Honorable Marufu Adebayo, popularly known as Gangaria, who promises constituents equality representation and the national if given the chance. Our reporter Oluchi Amuda witnessed the event held at the Mandela Freedom Park. Her report.
The official flag-off ceremony of Gangaria for Rep 2023 campaign, which commenced with a road work, attracted the presence of the leadership as well as members of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), who later converged on the Mandela Freedom Park, Osogbo, to show love and support to all the candidates vying for various political positions in Olorunda, Irepodu, Orulu, and Osogbo Federal Constituency in next year's general elections. In his opening remarks, the Director General Atiku Okowa Campaign Organization, Honorable Sunday BC, appreciated the people of Osogbo Federal Constituency for their love and support at all times, most especially during the July 16 governorship election in the state, where they gave their mandate to the People's Democratic Party. He appealed to them to extend more support to all the candidates of the party from the presidential level to the State House of Assembly, assuring them that they will deliver on their campaign promises.
February 25.
Speaking in the same vein, the state chairman of the PDP, Dr. Akindele Adekunle, described Honorable Maruf Adebayo, popularly known as Gangaria, as a grassroots mobilizer who is dependable, reliable, and the right man for the job. He called on those who are yet to get their permanent voters card, PVC, to do so, adding that the PVC remains the only tool for the enthronement of good governance, which PDP represents.
Gangaria is a very hard-working party man. Gangaria is okay.
In his declaration speech, the PDP House of Representatives candidate for Olorunda Irepodun Orodu and Oshogbo Federal Constituency, Gangaria promised that when voted into power, he will sponsor and support life-changing bills, facilitate laudable projects, invest in human capital development, promote qualitative education, job creation, community development, among others.
We are bringing in new idea in order to solve poverty, in order to reduce joblessness in our society, in order to reduce youth restiveness in our community. And we promise to sponsor and support people-oriented bill that will change the life of the people of Oshogbo Federal Constituency for better.
The event climaxed with the acceptance of some DCMPs who are loyalists of Honorable Lassen Yusuf into the People's Democratic Party. Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.
The Central Bank of Nigeria today introduces into circulation its new currency in the first such redesign in 20 years. The authorities say the measure is meant to address insecurity, tackle counterfeiting, and force excess cash back into the banking system. Nigeria's central bank has said that more than 80% of the money in circulation is being hoarded by individuals. The central bank has urged people to take their old naira notes to commercial banks for replacement. The January deadline has been set by which Nigerians have to trade in the old banknotes. The release of the new notes comes barely 3 weeks before another change comes into effect, limiting of cash withdrawals from banks to $225 a week for individuals and $1,200 for corporate bodies. And while Justice Sylvanus Hodge, as of a High Court of the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja, has declined a grant a motion seeking to stop the new cash withdrawal policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria. The application was brought before the court by 10 named applicants for themselves and on behalf of 20 million Nigerian citizens who do not use banks. The report has it that although the decision by the court was taken on Tuesday, the court processes were obtained by journalists in Abuja today. The applicant prayed the court to grant injunctions restraining the respondent from proceeding with the January 31st next year deadline of the use of the current 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1000 naira notes, as it affects the citizens without any real plans or workable guidelines to cover the over 20 million unbanked Nigerians who are vulnerable to information and the use of technological-driven platforms without the possibility of financial inclusion. In the meantime, the Mose government says President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the refund of all expenses incurred on projects in the Sam Mbakwe International Airport, Owerri. Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Dr. Declan Emelumba, said this while briefing journalists after the state executive council meeting in Owerri, the state capital. He said President Muhammadu Buhari approved refunds incurred on both already executed projects in the airport in terms of infrastructure, as well as the amounts the government is expending on the ongoing dualization of the roads to ease movement from Nko Okpala to the airport. The Benue State Police Command has debunked a video trending on social media purported to be bags of rotten naira notes discovered in a store at the police barracks in the Wadata area of Makurdi town. In the said video, some residents of Wadata were seen pulling out bags of what looked like decomposing papers from a store, claiming it was money discovered by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). But the command, in a statement in Makurdi by its public relations officer, Superintendent SP Catherine Anene, described the video as misinformation. The Inspector General of Police, Mr. Osman Baba, is currently meeting with commissioners of police and heads of police formations in Abuja to strategize on the forthcoming 2023 general elections and the security situation in the country. The security meeting ongoing at the first headquarters is being attended by CPS, Assistant Inspectors General of Police, Deputy Inspectors General of Police, and other top-ranked police officers. This is the news across the country, coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Voice of the West, Nigeria. Now, our mid-news message. Assist the government by paying your tax, among other levies, as and when due. Be patriotic. Expectedly, by this time of the year, the atmosphere is usually to be colorful as people engage in Christmas decoration. But observation by OSBC News School revealed that this tradition may have suffered a setback due to current inflationary rates in the country. Report of the week packaged by Olade Adegbero unbundles this.
Christmas is an annual festival commemorating the birth of Jesus Christ, observed on every December 25th as a religious and cultural celebration among billions of Christians around the world. As Christmas is approaching, many churches, offices, schools, among others, now wear new, all decorated with green and red ribbons, flowers, Christmas trees, and lights. Christmas celebrations are filled with worship, merriment, and speed-up social activities around the world. OSBC reporter moved around Osogbo to see level of preparedness of people for this year's Christmas celebration. Speaking in an interview with OSBC News, an observer, Mr. Bukola Fatoki, said decorating churches, houses, schools, offices is to create awareness for people that Christmas is around the corner.
I see some awareness. Very few are aware that Christmas is around the corner. That's the only thing I can think of.
Mr. Fatoki stressed that no spiritual significance is attached to the decorations done by people during Christmas period. Also speaking, a seller of decorative ornaments, Mrs. Abosede Olagunju, who lamented low patronage, said that there is no much sales this year compared to previous years.
The experience of this year is terrible. People are complaining of the thing that is the price is too high. Then we are telling them that even from Lagos, they be telling us that because of the dollars, that they cannot buy some plenty goods for this Christmas period. As for me, there are some sides of the market. I used to buy 5 cartons each, like Christmas, like 140, 50 bucks, 200 bucks. For this, I buy only 5 pieces. Instead of 5 cartons. Even another decoration something. So it's plenty. So this Christmas period for Christmas decoration is terrible.
Mrs. Olagunju maintained that sales reduced drastically this period, probably because goods are now more expensive, which most of their consumers cannot afford. For Report of the Week, this is Olaide Adegbero reporting.
Sequel to directive by the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Osman Baba, there is increasing presence of security personnel at offices of the Independent National Electoral Commission across states of the country. In the wake of attacks on INEC offices, Mr. Baba had ordered the police commissioners to ensure adequate deployment of personnel, assets, and supervisory officers from other security agencies scheduled for election duties. In a joint operation, operatives of the police, army, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, and other security agents continue to be visible in INEC offices, both at state and local government levels. Reporters said that security presence at INEC offices ranged from less visible to very visible though security checks were common on entry many offices of the commission. The Minister of Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, has said that, contrary to insinuations in some quarters, the people of Rivers State have benefited immensely from infrastructural strides occasioned by the President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration. He also disclosed that Nigerians will be able to use the Bodo Bone Road by December 2023, when the project will be completed. According to the minister, the president has demonstrated commitment to infrastructure development in all the regions of Nigeria, Rivers inclusive. This is disclosed in a statement by the ministry's spokesperson, Mrs. Blessing Adams-Leary, today. A federal high court, Abuja, has fixed January 25 next year for ruling on Senator Ike Ekweremadu's application seeking an order setting aside the November 4 interim forfeiture order on 40 landed property linked to him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC). Justice Nyankepo fixed the date today after Chief Adegboyega Awomolo's son, who appeared for Ekweremadu, and the EFCC's lawyer Sylvanus Starr argued their case for and against the application. Report have it that Justice Ekwe had on November 4 granted the anti-graft agency's ex parte motion seeking an interim order of forfeiture on some property of Ekweremadu, who was former deputy Tibet president. The National Agency for Foods and Drugs Administration and Control (NAFDAC) has raided 10 warehouses in Sabongeri Market in Kano State, where they seized unregistered foodstuffs and arrested 2 people. The Deputy Director, Investigation and Enforcement Directorate of NAFDAC Kaduna Office, Mr. Tamanwa Andrew, disclosed this to Newsman in Kaduna. He said the raid, which they conducted at warehouses located at Sabongeri Markets and Unity Road, were in line with the regulatory activities and mandates of ensuring a healthy nation. Said the food products seized were 500 cartons of milk creamer, 3,655 cartons of lollipop candy, 1,800 cartons of monosodium glutamate, 162 bags of star milk, and 300 cartons of chocolate. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command has commenced an investigation into today's fatal train crash incident in Kubwa. Information has it that an Abuja-bound train had crashed into a moving car at Chikakuri in the Kubwa area of Abuja, leading to a breakdown of the train. The train coaches were unmoved for over 40 minutes while engineers worked on the train. Reacting to the incident, FCT Police spokesperson Josephine Ade said investigation has commenced by the Railway Division having jurisdiction over the track. He maintained that findings in safety tips already existing will soon be reiterated to ensure a non-repeat of such incidents. Leading members of the All Progressives Congress APC and their teaming followers in Okukodo in local government area of Osun State have defected to the People's Democratic Party (PDP). The campees who are of the Ward 1 Oba Ojomu Ward include Honorable Isaka Oyeniran, Olori Taiwo Oyekunle Oyeniran Abib, Mr. Yusuf Onolapo Janet, Adewale Kumi, Alimi Rukayat, Fabuloye Emmanuel, and Oyeniran Familat. According to their spokesperson, the people are pitching their tent with the PDP because of baffling unexpected revelations about the immediate past administration in the state, and a strong conviction that the PDP administration of Senator Ademola Adeleke will do things much better in the interest of all and sundry. The campees promised their unalloyed support to the government of the day, ensuring that they will do all within their powers to ensure that the 5-point agenda of Governor Ademola Adeleke come to fruition. The defectors were received into the PDP by the Odotin coordinator of Umolede, Mr. Omoniyi Surajudeen. The installation of Emmanuel Alaba Jeriola as the Alawe of Adawode Obokun local government Osun State post tomorrow. The conferment of the chieftaincy title by Alada of Adawode will be performed at the Palace Square in the morning. Alawe chieftaincy is a traditional title of the Alawe family compound of Adawudi, and the order is a member of Alada in Council. The conferment of traditional title will climax with merrymaking at Timidire Street, Adawudi. France will face Argentina in the final of the FIFA World Cup in Qatar on Sunday after Morocco suffered a 0-2 loss in the second semi-finals. Adeyemi Abodeni has more on sports updates.
France has beaten Morocco to set up a final showdown with Argentina on Sunday. One goal in each half of the match helped World Cup defending champions France to beat Morocco 2-0 on Wednesday. Theo Hernandez put France ahead in the 5th minute after Morocco failed to clear their lines in one moment of madness, while substitute Randal Kolo Muhani doubled the France lead in the 79th minute. All effort by the Moroccans to fight back proved abortive in spite of many chances that fell their way. Morocco will on Saturday face Croatia, losers of Tuesday's first semi-final match, while the epic final between Argentina and France will hold on Sunday. Meanwhile, Morocco goalkeeper Yassine Bono is in contention for a top award at the World Cup following his exploit at the tournament. The Sevilla goalkeeper has been in splendid form at the tournament, conceding only 3 goals, one of which was from his own player. The goalkeeper's heroics has seen him win 2 Man of the Match awards and kept 4 clean sheets at the tournament, 2 games more than his closest contender Dominik Livakovic. Bono is expected to win the Golden Glove Award. His outstanding displays also put him in contention for the Player of the Tournament award alongside Argentina superstar Lionel Messi. Morocco became the first African country to reach the semi-final of the World Cup after beating favourites Belgium, Spain and Portugal. In the meantime, Algeria Minister of Sport Abdulrazak Sebka has announced that Algeria will submit their bid to host the 2025 African Cup of Nations before Friday's deadline date. CAF has set Friday, December 16 as the deadline for member associations to submit their final offer, including all applications and hosting documents and government guarantees. CAF will carry out inspection visits to all the bidding countries before the announcement of the host country on February 10 next year. Ahead of the CAF Under-20 African Cup of Nations in Egypt, the African soccer ruling body CAF has announced the date and venue for the draw. Nigeria's Flying Eagles qualified for the competition after emerging winner of the Wafu B regional tournament in Niger Republic. CAF on Wednesday confirmed Cairo, capital of Egypt, as venue of the draw, which holds on December 23rd. Competition is scheduled to take place between February 24th to March 16th next year in Egypt. Meanwhile, Flying Eagles coach Ladan Bosso has once again wielded the big stick by releasing 25 players from the team's camp. 7-time African champions have been in camp in Abuja training ahead of the CAF Under-20 African Cup of Nations in Egypt. Former FC Ifeanyi Uba coach decamped the players following their below expectation performance. Some of the players were not officially invited but simply came to camp to try their luck. Action resumed in the match day 3 of the Nigerian Women Football League, and it was Nasarawa Amazon that stole the show with a 4-0 spanking of Ibom Angels. Edo Queens secured a 1-2 away win over FC Robo Queens in Lagos, while Atlant Queens held Bayelsa Queens to a goalless draw in Yenagoa. FC Niger Ratters defeated Osho Babes 3-1 in Abuja, while Delta Queens silenced local rivals Royal Queens 3-0 in Asaba. Sport update returns tomorrow. My name is Adeyemi Abode.
That was the news across the country, edited by Olushola Egbodofo. For more about, can visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks for listening. Good evening.